We are back. Week 1, we had to do a two-parter here. A special two-parter for you here. We are going to go through every Week 1 game here somewhat quickly and try to find, let's try to find, Ryan, at least 3 good bets for each of us. Some games we feel good about here. And let's try to make people some money. It's Week 1 in the NFL. CU Nebraska. Maybe before we get into the NFL, let's touch on that a little bit. CU struggled with North Dakota State quite a bit. Nebraska beat the unholy hell out of a team on the road or at home. Not near as good as North Dakota State, but they look like they have an offense. How worried are you for the Buffs? Because it's been really fun to just beat the hell out of the Huskers, especially because when we were kids growing up in Colorado, Nebraska always beat us. Like, one of my first vivid sports memories is the time that CU beat the hell out of them with Chris Brown and Bobby Purify running all over them. And then somehow Nebraska still got to go to the national championship game over us. But that was probably merciful because that Miami team was loaded. But I still really want to beat Nebraska. Is there any way that we do that, Ryan, based off what you saw week 1? Because I know you watched the CU game.
Yeah, it's the same problem that
were you just panicked? I guess
seemingly exactly the same thing as they were doing last year. The offensive line sucks and the defense can't stop the run. So yeah, I would say I'm worried. And no, I don't think that they're going to beat Nebraska. Like it didn't look any different. I went to 3 games last year. I don't know, and they looked exactly the same. They're going to be fun to watch because Travis Hunter is unbelievable. And Shador has some throws where you're like, yeah, you are pretty filthy. If you had an offensive line that could stand and block in front of you, I bet you would be awesome. But I was listening to something that it was like with a college scout, and they were talking about Shador, and he was like, and this was after the game that I was listening to this, and he said he was just like, he just doesn't have any rhythm in the pocket in terms of like he stays too long and then he gets really panicked back there. And I'm like, God, that really just exactly describes what I just watched on Saturday. So it's I don't see them beating teams with real talent, especially on the road. Like, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah,
what's the line?
Feels pretty bad to me. I agree with everything you said. And it feels like Shador is... producer Dan, can you look that up for us real quick? But while he does that, I just wanted to echo your Shador statements. Like, there are some filthy throws he makes, but it doesn't feel like... Because, like, obviously, our running game is
touchdown underdogs.
And part of that's line, part of that's, like running back talent, all that.
That's low.
Yeah. I think that's just fine to take because, like you said, the solution would normally be
7.5.
Yeah, to just say, hey, we're going to throw and use short throws and use those little rhythm throws almost as a running game and to protect our line, but it just doesn't feel like Shador is very good at those. It feels like he can bomb it, and he has incredible arm talent to where a lot of those deep crosses that like other college quarterbacks hang up too much, he'll get them there on a rope. And so we just have insane explosive plays. But you saw, like, after our first few drives, so once again, explosive plays, we couldn't sustain a drive against North Dakota State. And so I think
it's
even more
the modern MLB.
Nebraska, I think this is going to be...
It's strikeouts or it's home runs. There's nothing really in between, and it's entertaining to watch, I guess. Yeah. But honestly, the prime thing is sort of wearing thin on me. He's just annoying, and I get it. Like, I guess he's protecting players and speaking out and all these things, or whatever he wants to say it is. But at a certain point, like, you're just kind of an asshole who gets paid a bunch of money and isn't getting endorsements by for, all these products and is in all state ads with fucking Nick Saban, and you barely beat the like F or Division 1 champion, the actual NCAA champion of college football. Like, not that interested.
I also don't. Sorry as well. You have to run 3 times there. The game is over. 13-year-old me playing NCAA with Ryan knows that you can just kneel. And that game is over. Like, it doesn't make any sense. You don't need to get a first down. You don't need to do stuff. Like, what are we doing?
Like, nobody's... Yeah, and he's not hiring for talent. He's hiring Warren Sapp because he's Warren Sapp. Like, which actually seems like a great hire. It seems like he might actually be doing something. But I don't think that that's the case for that entire staff. And the NCAA is no longer just like, I'm going to get some talent and I get to grind. Like, these kids, you have to be grinding on the recruiting trail to even identify the kid and then go get him. Like, it's such a full-time job now. Not that it wasn't before, I guess, but it's just different.
Yeah. No, agreed. Yeah. No. All right. I think that's enough of that sadness there, but we're in agreement here. Also, if you want to start your weekend a little early, little 7-point teaser to get the Huskers down. And I think there are some tasty legs here. This year NFL slate. So let's get going, Ryan. Without any further ado, into this week 1. Starts off Thursday, Baltimore, Kansas City. We're international. They're over there in Germany. KC's favored by 3. I think both these teams are going to be really good. I think I'm just going to stay away from this and enjoy week 1. But do you see any big angles here or anything? To me, this just feels
I don't see anything that jumps off the board at me. The only thing that I will say is I believe that DraftKings boosted Travis Kelce or Travis Kelce or Derrick Henry to score a touchdown in this to plus 300, which I think is a solid value. So, or plus 100. Sorry, not 300. That would be crazy. But it's a Brazil, right?
And I'm sorry, this one is not in Germany. They go to Germany later.
Yeah, I
this
think.
One is at Arrowhead. No, that's the next
to your point,
game.
I just think these teams are too close to really bet on without seeing any regular season action. So I'll set this one out. It's going to be awesome, though. Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
It's a stay away. If I had to do anything, I'd probably just play Ravens money line. But
yeah, I don't know. Andy Reid come with a whole off season. I'll probably just take the Super Bowl champs here with all that energy in the building. That'll be my official pick, but this is not one of my best 3. Now we go over to Brazil, aka the place where all of the Eagles players appear super pissed that they're going to Brazil. AJ Brown said he's not going to leave his room. They're all like, this seems terrible. It's such a bummer that the NFL did this, because this should be an insanely fun game. Like, we have Green Bay, Philly. This should be awesome. These are 2 great fan bases and great home field. Just kind of absolutely sucks that Philly loses a home game here. Philly's favored by 3 here. I can't figure out why. I'll be taking Green Bay money line. The international stuff is enough for me to not want to take it as like one of my 3 best plays. But If the Lord grants me the strength to stay away from the opening game, betting wise, which he probably won't. To be clear, I'll find some prop bet or something. There's no way he'll grant me the strength on a Friday to stay away from this, and I'll be taking the Packers money line. I think Philly. I think there's some real chemistry stuff with their coach, all that stuff that's real.
I agree.
And I think Green Bay's offense is really good. So
Philly, the vibes have been just terrible all season, so I'm certainly with you there. I do wonder, I guess, a little bit about the international thing and just Jordan Love of it all. I am in on the Packers officially. Like, I think that they're going to be very good, and I'm sort of out on the Eagles, so I agree with you. I would take the Packers money line, but I don't think I would do it at plus 120. This is a live play all over it. I mean, you know me and my live betting, but this feels like a game where you're going to get a good feel for what the rhythm is going to be early on.
yes. All right, now we go to Atlanta. I've already spoiled my pick in part one of this, but we have Pittsburgh visiting Atlanta. I am taking Atlanta. I think Russell Wilson and this team is truly terrible. I think their defense is good, but I think Atlanta can score enough points here. I think Atlanta is actually going to be pretty good this year. I think Kirk Cousins gives you enough competence to just like say, hey, I can't hold on to the ball versus TJ Watt and get strip sack fumbled. I just can't throw pick sixes, and we will win because Russ will. And so I think this is Atlanta. I like this quite a bit. I totally get the Tomlin and the nobody believes in us and all that energy. But Atlanta to me is.
I don't really understand this number. It's almost so weird. It feels a little fishy. Like, I hate the Steelers and I love the Falcons, and why this is only 3, I guess, is a little confusing. But I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, what jumped off the page to me is that minus 148 on the money line. Just finding somebody else you like, throwing that in a little money line parlay. That's probably the way I would play that.
Yep. It's also, by the way, it's candidate. If you want a 7-point teaser for the Huskers, then you can get this up to plus 4 there. And I do not think that the Steelers can.
I hate going through the 0, but yeah, you're not wrong.
So it's a.
Yeah.
I just like getting more than a field goal. That when you're going through the 0, I like that. All right, next we've got an interesting game here. Jacksonville at Miami. Jacksonville disappointing finish to the season last year. Miami, pretty much everyone is hurt this first week. Waddle and Tyreek are still questionable. It looks like they're gonna play, but they've been banged up. It feels not good. I think I would take Jacksonville money line here if I was going to make a play. I don't think that I trust Doug Peterson enough, who after he wrote a book about himself being such a risk-calling genius, hasn't had very much success in the NFL. So I think I like Mike McDaniel in the offseason and with just a lot of time to prepare for this game to get something going. I trust him to create more explosives for Tua and the boys, but I don't love it. So it's not one of my top plays, but I think I would lean Jags money.
I hate everything that you just said, but I don't necessarily disagree with it. It seems a little trappy. The Jags I have fallen in and out of love with them 3 separate times throughout the last couple of years. And I think it's just hard for me to have a feel for them early in the season. I want to believe that Trevor Lawrence is good, but I kind of have to, like, he's got to prove that this year. So to me, it's a stay away on the money line, but it does contain one of my favorite bets of the weekend. It's a prop bet. Devon Achane, anytime touchdown scorer, plus 115. Just lock it in. That's going to happen. Especially with Hill and Waddle potentially banged up. Like, just, they're going to score touchdowns. They're going to. I guarantee you they're going to score touchdowns. So, I think there's a ton of value on that.
Yeah. I like that as a prop. Yeah. All right. Now we've got... we're really getting into the weeds here. It's tough for a game to not be exciting to me in week 1, but they've done it. We've got Sam Darnold versus Daniel Jones out here in East Rutherford, New Jersey. And barring Justin Jefferson or Malik Neighbors doing something unbelievable, I don't think I will pay attention to a single moment of this game. I think I would take Minnesota here just because of coaching. I think that they have a really good coach, and I think that he can work with Darnold to make him play better than what Daniel Jones is capable of. So yeah, I think that would be what I'd like, but good Lord, well, I don't want to watch any of this game.
Don't
so
bet on this game. But I do have the Giants winning.
Money here.
I kind of they're an intriguing team, and I think them at home early in the season, I'll just take them. I think it'll get New York excited for half a minute and then have their hopes dashed. So.
Good Lord. Yeah. Not great, Bob. Okay. Now this game would normally be unbelievably unexciting, but we have Caleb Williams, so it's not terrible. The Chicago Bears are hosting the Tennessee Titans. The Bears are minus, 4.5.
Explain to me
4.
how. What was that game earlier? Who? Yeah, explain to me how that's that. And what is going on? How is this a 1.5 more? I don't understand at all.
I mean, obviously Vegas has to bake in the fact that the NFL allows the Steelers to cheat all the time. So that is an advantage, and maybe that is worth 1.5. But yeah, this feels too high to me. I'm not betting even a cent. The only thing I would say to people is if you have 4.5, if you want to do 6-point teasers and you want to get this up over 10.5, I think this game is going to be hideously ugly.
Although if they were going to blow anybody out, the Titans would be a prime candidate at home week 1. So I don't know. I don't think I'd touch this with a 10-foot pole. This is as fishy as that Steelers line. So
yeah. Yeah. Let me tell you, the only thing to me is, hey, that minus 18 DVOA for rookie quarterbacks, it didn't say anything about, except for number 1 overall picks.
But this Titans team with the new coach
I don't think
all
we're going to see a Caleb.
There's no talent on that team, so.
Listen, yeah, you're right. This is hey man, did Caleb do something cool? Awesome. Other than that, we're fine. Then we've got Carolina, New Orleans.
Another toilet bowl early in the year.
This one is also weird.
Another team between two teams that I think are going to be really bad.
I mean, that's just the NFC South. But yeah, it's home for New Orleans, but like you said, it feels like this town is a very passionate fan base, and they kind of hate their quarterback and their coach. So, like, is this one of those where, like, if it's 3-3, do all of a sudden the Saints are getting booed a lot, and being at home kind of feels like a disadvantage? I'm not sure, right? So I think this is a Panthers money line or nothing. If you're going to do it, I can't get there with Bryce Young, so probably not. But
I love this money
quarterback
line.
whisperer can get to him. It's the new guy.
This is good. This would be one of my. This would be one of my three.
Love it.
I like the Panthers. I think are underrated potentially. That doesn't mean I think they're going to win a lot of games, but I just think the Saints are bad. So I like the money line. I think there's a lot of value in that. The 4.5 is also, there's a ton of value. I mean, especially as a teaser candidate as well. So.
All right then. I mean, teaser candidate, you're not wrong there. I think it might even be a better leg than the one I mentioned earlier with Tennessee, Chicago, because Chicago has some air.
I just don't know how the Titans are going to score.
Air it out. When's the last time we saw Derek Carr throw a pass for longer than 5 yards? Like, you know, like it's hard to get blown out when the other guy can't make explosive plays happen. Yeah, it's not good. Remember last offseason when everyone was like, Kamara's going to be awesome again this year? He figured out that one of his quads was bigger than the other. We were all sitting there like, he's got the quad thing figured out. It didn't work out there. All right, next. Arizona at Buffalo. We've got Buffalo favored -6. This is too high. Buffalo is just wide receivers keep falling. I get Josh Allen is really good, but so is Kyler Murray. Also, can you imagine a worse quarterback to be replacing like all of your secondary and Milano, who is your main like Mike guy, than Kyler Murray? I understand this is one of 3 games we're going to see him healthy, but he's healthy, and that sounds not fun. And between Marvin Harrison and McBride, I think they have some burners out there, and I don't see any way. I think this is going to be the most fun game of week 1. I think these teams are going to go up and down on each other, and so if you wanted to take over 48.5, I wouldn't be mad at you. But I'm going to take Arizona +6.
Yeah,
Not one of my 3 best, but I like it.
I guess I can't get there really with the Cardinals in terms of keeping this close. I agree that Buffalo lost a lot in terms of offensive weapons, but I'm just a Josh Allen believer. I'm also kind of a Cardinals believer, but they have a lot of holes, especially on the offensive line front, which is not typically going to be a good sign. So I wouldn't disagree with taking the points, but I could see a world where Josh Allen rushes for 4 touchdowns and this isn't very close. So.
Welcome now, Ryan, to the game that everyone is going to tease down. Everyone you know is going to have Cincy in a tease. They are favored -9 versus New England. New England is really bad. It's also just hard to beat someone by 10 points in the NFL. They're starting Jacoby Brissett, so he's at least an NFL quarterback who's seen stuff before. I think the Bengals have traditionally been a really slow starting team. They blew, even in their Super Bowl year, they blew some real dumb games early and had to really go on a run late. Uh, this is probably the stay away because I think the Patriots have a chance to be the worst team in the league for me.
This is a
But
lot
all
of
I'm
this
going
is
to
a lot of
say
points
is
for somebody
be
whose
careful out there.
quarterback hasn't
All
really
right?
been able to
Be
successfully throw the
careful.
ball. So
Well, and even for people who are putting it in a tease, putting it in your money line parlay, everyone's going to have this. And the bet that everyone has, there's 1 or 2 weeks where Vegas gets cooked, but it's not a lot.
yeah, this is
So
not.
be
You won't
careful
catch
out
me
there.
betting on the Bengals or teasing this game. I also just don't know any. Like the Patriots coaching staff is completely new. This is a new team, and who knows who? Like, I mean, Jacoby Brissett is. We know exactly what he is, but he's also
Yeah.
not bad. Like we know he's not a bad quarterback. So,
No,
yeah, he's gonna know how to read a defense. He's gonna know what
I
to
think
do.
he can
So,
find holes. He can do things. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Um, now we get to my first best bet of the week. Houston -2.5 at Indy. Indy's secondary blows, Ryan. We talked about it in the after the Broncos preseason. We talked about it when the Broncos preview there. CJ Stroud and these weapons going into Indy -2.5 is a gift from the gods. And you know me, I'm not looking a gift horse in the mouth. Don't get overcomplicated. Don't try to find other ways to do it. All this stuff. Just take 2.5. Just take 2.5 and collect your winnings. This is too low. Steichen is a really good coach, but he does not have the horses to do this. And you know what I wouldn't want to put Anthony Richard in the spot of? Having to hurl the ball all over the place. Versus, by the way, an unbelievable defensive coach there for Houston who's going to know how to exploit that. I think Houston is going to have a good year this year, and I think that they are going to beat the.
I completely agree. I
Colts.
again am
Colts.
sort of
Same
struggling to
here. Way
figure
too
out
bad.
why this line is 2.5. Like it to get this under a field goal feels too respectful of Anthony Richardson. Like we saw CJ Stroud in this defense be unbelievable last year. So this wasn't one of my 3, but you've talked me into just making some money with you, if that makes you feel better.
Great. I feel great about this. All right. Next, we have the first of the 2 o'clock slate. Leading it off strong, Denver at Seattle. We talked about this. We've hinted at it. This is my second of 3. Seattle is going to dick kick the Broncos. On the road, in that environment, Ryan talked about it. The added layer is all these people are Washington Huskies fans.
There will be a lot of Oregon
as well,
fans,
so
but there will
don't
be an
like
equal
Bo
amount
Nix
of
from
Husky
there.
fans. So
And Seattle's going to be pretty good. We saw Baltimore's Mike Donald. He's really good at game planning up a scheme. I think they have tons of talent. The other thing that I think they have is they're a young D tackle, which I just think is super hard for us as a new center. Like on the road, center that, and this center has to worry about their rookie defensive tackle coming in, disrupting things. I think Gino and the boys are absolutely built to throw the ball all over the yard on us. And then you put Bo Nix in spots where you do not want a rookie quarterback. You don't want any quarterback, but we're going to be down in this game, and he's going to have to hurl this thing around, and it's going to be awful. I think he is... It's not going to be good. I think Seattle is a playoff team. I talked about them having some value on the NFC West when we were previewing that. So I don't think this is a terrible loss. This is not something that's going to panic me. But this coming down from -6 is a gift from the gods.
I don't disagree. And just to go back to what you said, I think earlier is, and maybe it was during the Broncos preview, but it's really the team's multiple weapons. And when you have DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett and Jackson Smith in Jigba, we're in some pretty big trouble. So I think that I would take it, but honestly, I might wait. These early season games, like you'll get a weird touchdown early that we know exactly when it's scored, that it doesn't mean anything. Like, okay, you scored. That's cute. Okay, that might be the only touchdown you score all game. Like, that was nice. That was a fun scripted 15 plays you had. Like, let's see what you got in the third quarter. So I could see this being like the Broncos defense sort of holding strong for a drive or two, and then Bo Nix throwing some bomb, and then the line being 2.5. But
without confidence, I think this is an alternate line. Even I think.
Wow.
The problem with that theory is I don't think we're going to score a touchdown. I think we're kicking a field goal. That's about all that she wrote here. It's going to be a forgettable debut for Bo and the boys. But you know what, bro? Like I said, this is a good team. This is a team on the road. This is a hard place to play. This is why we didn't want Bo to start this game. But you know what? Water under the bridge at this point, and this is my second. Is this going to be a best bet for you? Do you feel that good about it or no? Because you were a little less bullish on them,
so it's not a best bet for me. Especially,
I think they're genuine.
I don't want more than a field goal, but
fair enough. All right, now we have a divisional game. Raiders at the Chargers. Not really at the Chargers because the Chargers only have one fan in the whole NFL. But shout out to Steve. But this game, it's not one of my best bets, but I looked at it in terms of why on earth would I take Aiden O'Connell versus Justin Herbert? Like, and we've talked about Pierce versus Harbaugh. It just doesn't make tons of sense to me. Can we say that? About why I do such a thing. And I think that this is a Chargers.
I don't either. It's just a Harbaugh. Like, I'm going to watch this game really intently because I think it will be it might not be the most entertaining game. I think it could be sort of a war of attrition. This game, the over-under, this is an underplay if you're going to play it. They can't make this line low enough because there's not going to be a lot of... the Chargers are just going to run the air out of the ball. That's what their strategy is going to be the whole year. So, no, exactly.
And why wouldn't the Raiders do the same
do think that the Chargers, I believe in Harbaugh, and so I would play the Chargers -3 here. It's also not one of my best bets.
This is a split screen for us Broncos fans. You got the division, and you kind of want to see, right? Like, because it's scary.
Well, the problem with the NFL is that we can have all 4 late games going on one television.
Then you're like, oh.
Because they hate us and want us to have to watch 19 games at 11 a.m.
Yeah, it's wild. The marquee game, we've got Tom Brady calling it. Dallas and Cleveland. Cleveland -2.5 here. Can someone explain to me why? I shouldn't take Dallas money line here. It feels like any game that we get Deshaun is going to be bad. And once they figure that out and get him out of
He
there,
was bad last year, but the
this
record
team
when
can
he
be
played was
good,
actually pretty good.
just like last year.
He was bad, but the defense was so unbelievable that it was. The reason you don't take the Cowboys here is because of vibes. This whole training camp has been so weird. And this team is like, they're hanging out by a thread.
Yeah, these are two weird vibes teams. Like Deshaun has been like apparently not very coachable in training camp. He's been kind of off the side, doing his own thing. I don't think he's popular in that locker room. I think the moment they can get Jameis Winston in there eating his fingers, they are going to try to do so. Because, I just think Dallas was good last year. Like, genuinely very good last year on offense. And so I don't think you can hold Dallas under 20, and I don't think any Deshaun Watson-led offense is getting to 20. So it's not one of my best three. That's just where
I actually have the Cowboys winning this game when I went through the whole season. So I'll stick with what I said then.
Boom, baby. Rare, by the way, that you get like such a public team as the Cowboys as underdogs. So I think for me, enjoy it. Like regular season Cowboys are different than playoff Cowboys. Like regular season Cowboys, pretty profitable to bet on. Now we've got Washington, Tampa Bay. Obviously, another fun rookie quarterback to watch. Tampa Bay is favored by 3. It's in Tampa Bay. We have a rookie quarterback on the road. That's enough for me. I'm going to take Tampa Bay, but I think Tampa Bay is a down year. I don't think they're exceptionally good. So I don't think that Dan Quinn, is a creative enough guy to like help a rookie quarterback enough to get his first win on the road. But I don't trust the Bucs nearly enough to try to bet on this. So I'll take the Bucs at -3, but it's purely a rookie quarterback, and I don't think that he's quite ready to make enough explosive plays. But it wouldn't.
I have the Ginsburgs winning this
Ginsburg's
game.
Won.
And I would probably bet on the money line here. So I just don't. I don't like the Bucs at all. I don't think we talked about it a little bit during the Broncos preview, just about his quarterback play. But I think it was a little bit of fool's gold last year, and I just don't necessarily see it being repeatable. Ugly, as all said.
This is going to be a hideous game, by the way. And they are absolutely... The Fox is trying to show this in 0 markets. Like
there's really 3 games going on in the afternoon
and in Washington to even watch it. They're like, "Are you sure you don't want to? You sure you don't want to watch Tom? He's calling the other game." This is going to be hideous football. Also, it's wild that game has a higher. It's respect to Cleveland's defense, but the over/under is 42.5 in that Dallas and Cleveland game, and it's 43.5 in this Tampa Bay. Explain to me how.
Yeah, well, I think there's definitely a defensive touchdown baked into the market there.
Throwing pick sixes. If they let you say, will there be a defensive touchdown? Yes. I think you'd sprinkle a little on that. Maybe that's how you bet that game. All right. While you're finding that, that is the end of that poopery.
You can take them both.
The last 2 games are awesome.
Defenses to score a touchdown at plus 500.
Do that.
I love an
Ross will
interception
be
bet
correct
too.
on one.
Baker's minus 135 and Jaden Daniels minus 135. That's picking up
yeah.
free money on the ground. Yeah. Huh.
Yeah.
You can parlay that for plus 190. So there you go, folks.
They will.
Wait, can I make that my third
that is
bet?
Great.
I'm gonna sit on that for a second. I do have one
Sure.
that I've got.
You
but
want to? Okay. Okay. LA at Detroit. Rematch of the playoff game. Was insanely good playoff game. If the Rams win that, you could say maybe they go to the Super Bowl. Last year, it was that close, that fun, all of that. Two insanely hyped up teams. Detroit favored by 3.5 here. Highest over under of the week at 51. I think that's reflected in no Aaron Donald, and the Rams defense is pretty bad, but also the Rams offense should be awesome here. So I don't have any strong feelings about this. I think Detroit's better, but it wouldn't shock me if the Rams found a way here. So I'm probably staying away on Sunday night. And if you forced me to pick this game, I would probably find a way to just put it in a money line parlay, and I'd just take Detroit. But I don't want to mess with that hook.
The hook is scary. I mean, it's
there.
3.5 for a reason, right?
Yeah.
I really believe in Detroit, so I want to just lay the points here. But it's the Lions, so it just feels funny still to be laying 3.5 against what I think is going to be like a serviceable Rams team. I'm not buying into the hype that they're going to be good at all. I think the offense will be fine, but that defense is going to be terrible.
And that's what scares me in this game is like a 10-point lead, and all of a sudden I have Stafford and the boys coming down against this Detroit team, and you're like, God, Kupp and Naku are catching everything, and we just get backdoored. That's why I think I would just go money line. And,
I agree. I think
that make it worth
the Lions are the play here.
Last one. I waited till the very last game to give out my best bet here. Jets are plus 3.5 at the 49ers. Just give me the Jets.
Are you taking money line or 3.5?
I think this is.
This is my third one as well. Yeah.
Oh, money line. Yeah. It's. The Jets are insanely talented. We haven't had Ayuk in training camp. We don't know what Trent Williams looks like. We don't have McCaffrey. It looks like I can't figure out why to take.
Yeah. I mean,
this.
I think
Jets team at all.
Yeah.
The only thing that scares me is we haven't seen Rodgers in live action this year, and there's a chance he just poops the bed. But the last time we saw Brock Purdy, it wasn't
Aaron Rodgers is going to be able to figure it out with Garrett Wilson. I feel pretty confident with that. So I couldn't agree with you more here. Breece Hall, like this team arguably has more talent than the 49ers. And certainly more healthy talent. So and more talent that went through a training camp. So I can't figure out why this line is the way that it is, and I love the plus 170 is what I'm looking at. So yep. I will play that. That will be the best bet of mine. And I'm going to hope they fall behind and I can hammer it live.
All right. Oh, double down.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, we'll have so much money in our account from these other wins over the weekend that
I will be on a river for part of Sunday, so
out there.
It's going to be tricky for your boy out there, but we'll figure it out. Yeah.
I believe in you. Get a satellite, just hold it above you, get some cell service out there. You're going to be great. All right. Thank you for sticking with us. Two-parter here. We hope you gave you some good knowledge. Hopefully, we're going to have a fun NFL season with you. We appreciate you listening to the podcast. Please like, subscribe, share it with your friends, all that good jazz. But we will talk to you next week after. Well, we're going to play a rare role next week, we think, right? We're going to be here to calm down the Broncos fans about Bo Nix and to maybe lift him up a little back into the clouds so that we can go get this Russell Wilson W in week 2. We'll talk to you next week, and please like, subscribe, share with a friend. The Blucifer Brothers.
Blucifer Brothers is a Crab Shell Media podcast.